All right, we're going to go to Indonesia now, where officials say that more than 1,000 people could still be missing after last week's devastating earthquake and tsunami. Officials had previously estimated that around 100 people were missing. Meanwhile, power has been restored to some parts, and banks and shops are reopened in the worst affected city of Palu. More than 1,500 people are confirmed to have died, but the total is expected to rise. Our reporter Njanji Chauke is in Indonesia and joins us now live. Njanji, thanks very much for joining us. Where are you at this stage? Have you managed to get to Palu, or are you still on the way?
Thanks for joining us here in Jakarta, Peter. We actually arrived in the early hours of this morning, and then today we've been busy with arrangements in terms of logistics, trying to fly into Palu. As you know, that the airport was closed, it was then opened and then closed again. But so far we've managed to secure a flight that will get us out of here in Jakarta at 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So we are hoping to get into the epicenter tomorrow, Peter, where we'll be going with a group of volunteers from Gift of the Givers. As you know, that they're here on a humanitarian mission.
And Njanji, is there anything you've been able to get in terms of this devastating story from within Indonesia? I guess our stories have been coming from many parts of the world about what's happening there, but maybe local media. What's the sense you're getting about how the story has unfolded?
Yeah, the sense that we're getting from the people down in Palu is that it's taking long for supplies to reach the remote areas and some of the villages there. Today we had reports that there is a church that was also devastated by the natural disaster, and then in that church there were about 1,000 people, most of them children. We know that the mission by NGO Gift of the Givers, they're aiming to get to areas such as that. But joining me to talk a bit more about their humanitarian mission to Indonesia is Dr. Kasim Borat of Gift of the Givers. Good evening and thanks for joining us. Can you just tell us about your plan of action? We know that it's been a logistical nightmare to get in there to Palu, to the epicenter, as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think, Njanji, you're 100% correct. It's been a challenge, and it's been a challenge on a few levels. Indonesia itself being so far apart in terms of islands, it's difficult just to get from one place to the other. Secondly, the airport, Palu airport, has been closed due to inability of planes to land on the runway because people have been crowding towards it looking for aid. So that has been sorted out, but bigger planes can't land yet. And thirdly, because there's such a demand for people to go in that direction, that logistically it's a challenge. Those challenges are even besides the political challenges. Sometimes you arrive in a foreign country as South Africans with the best of intentions, as Gift of the Givers with a track record over 26 years, and you have to prove yourself. You have to show the people that control the disaster committees in this country that you are capable, that you are able, and that you're going to be doing things correctly. So having done most of that and partnering with a local NGO, which has been very important, we are now at the stage where we can now plan our mission. And just to correct you, the situation is so fluid. We had planned to leave tomorrow at 5 a.m. Unfortunately, the aircraft we were using would not be able to land in Palu, so we've had to readjust that, and we're actually leaving Sunday morning 4 a.m. and we'd be there midday on Sunday in Palu.
Oh, there you have it, Peter. As you've heard from Dr. Kasim Borat, the situation is very fluid. There are problems with trying to get to these affected areas. The airport has been closed once again, and you've just heard from him that, in fact, we'll be getting in there on Sunday. We'll only be departing on Sunday morning because it's very difficult. It's a very vast place. As I speak to you now, the distance between Jakarta and Palu, it's about 1,555 kilometers. And you know, whenever there's a disaster, the roads get blocked. If the airport has been affected as well, it becomes inaccessible. Peter, later on this evening, we'll be speaking to the South African ambassador to Indonesia, Dr. Hilton Fisher. So we're hoping to give you more information as and when we will get the information, Peter.
All right, so Njanji, thanks very much indeed. We'll leave it there for the time being. So that's our reporter there, Njanji Chauke, who's in Jakarta at the moment, and he says that the place they're trying to get to, the worst affected part, Palu, is about 1,500 kilometers away. So that's a pretty long distance that they need to cover. They were hoping to get there sooner, but logistics are proving quite a challenge at this stage. But we'll keep you up to date and hopefully cross to him a little bit later on during Full View.